Namaste. Myself, Dr. K.K. Chaudhary, Faculty of Education and Methodology, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women University, Jaipur. And today we will discuss about the method and technique of the educational planning. Planning is a process of intervention by the market forces or for seeking alternative solution to those provided by the market. When the market fails, the state is requested to intervene. There are many examples of state intervention to perfect the market forces. Many a time state intervention can also be seen an alternative to market force. This generally happen in central planned economics and the cases of all major decisions regarding the economy are based on planning process and are arrived at by the planning bodies. Planning can be defined as a process of taking decision for future action in order to achieve predetermined objective by optimum utilization of available resources in a limited time frame. The term planning is very frequently used in daily life, and every person without exception does some planning at individual level when one has to accomplish some task. Household plan for the meeting and requirement of the family within the income available and thus plan for monthly expenditure. When planning is undertaken at the individual or household level, the decision for future action are taken by the individual. However, if planning is to be undertaken for a system, एग्जाम्पल आप ले सकते हो प्लानिंग फॉर एजुकेशन द इम्पोर्टेंट इशू टू बी एड्रेस आर हु विल डिसाइड अबाउट द गोल ऑब्जेक्टिव allocation of resources and time frame which are important and essential component of the planning. At the system level, these decisions are taken at various hierarchical units. This concept of availability of various hierarchical units for planning is called multi-level planning framework. It means the existence of hierarchy of level of planning with clearly defined territorial jurisdiction. In the field of the education in any country, there can be possibility of developing plan at various levels. Specifically in the big country and even in the medium-sized country, the planning is undertaken at more than one level, that is, at various hierarchical administrative units. In many countries, the hierarchical units available for planning are national, provincial, district, sub-district and the village level. It may therefore be noted that planning for education can possibly be undertaken at these levels. Undertaking the planning at lower level along with the higher unit is referred to as decentralized planning. In order plan for education, there are certain steps that are involved. These are the first is the diagnosis of the educational situation. The first step in the developing a plan for education is to diagnose the educational situation. A diagnosis of educational system is an important and initial step towards developing plan. Diagnosis form an important step in understanding the system itself. Diagnosis in planning is a process of making a realistic assessment regarding what and how much has already been achieved till now. Diagnosis in the context of educational planning is an effort to make a fair assessment of achievement and the constraints. It is very likely that what is achieved may be less than what was expected as per target set in the early plan. There may be various reasons for this underachievement. The diagnosis exercise attempt to identify these constraints so that they are removed while implementing the next plan. It may be often difficult to analyze what happened to education system without reference to what happened at the household level or at the immediate environment in which the school are functioning. For example, for knowing the reason of non-enrollment of children, one may have to analyze not only school-related factor but also education-related factor that operate in the social and economic realm of the society. The diagnosis of educational situation can be done at various levels at national, provincial, district, sub-district, village and the school level. Diagnosis can be purely quantitative and can also be qualitative. However, it involves a systematic and empirical analysis of the education situation. For this, there is a need of developing a reliable database for initiating the planning exercise. To understand the educational situation, one may have to analyze education related factors which may have direct bearing on education. Hence, an analysis of immediate external environment may be quite helpful in order to understand the educational process that is taking shape in school and their immediate surrounding. Then, target setting. The gender and social disparity in the field of education are common feature in developing countries. These disparities may be in enrollment, retention or even the achievement also. One of the important objectives in the education plan will be to reduce these disparities. It is therefore important to set the target on enrollment and retention separately for boys and girls as well as for different ethnic groups that are educationally backward. Over a period of time, the gap between boys and girls and between various ethnic groups and other may be reduced. The target of reducing this gap may depend upon the gap between these categories in the base year of the plan. The next, intervention strategy and activities. Translating the strategy into program and activity is the next step in the plan formulation. It is to be kept in the view that specific intervention strategy may require a number of programs to make it operational and effective. However, a program may be an aggregation of various activities. It is therefore necessary to translate each and every strategy into activity and the task. For example, for improving access, the strategy can be opening of new school. However, one of the activity under strategy of opening new school may be construction of school building. But the activity of construction of school building has many tasks that are to be undertaken. These tasks may be identification of schoolless habitation, identification of habitations qualifying for opening school, listing and prioritization of habitations, deciding about the number of schools to be opened, identification of habitation where schools are to be opened, deciding the location of the school, acquiring a transfer of land, identification of agency for construction and supervision, finishing and furnishing of the school building. Next step in plan formulation is the sequencing and phasing of these activity and the tasks. It may be noted that some activities can be undertaken only in a sequential manner, whereas some activity can be restarted simultaneously. For example, construction of school building and recruitment of teacher are activity which can be taken simultaneously, while actual construction of school building cannot be done before deciding the site of the school, acquiring site, transfer of the land, and identification of agency and construction and supervision. Then implementation, schedule and monitoring mechanism. One of the important stage in planning exercise is detailing out the implementation plan. When planning at the lower level, district level planning, implementation is part and parcel of planning activity. A plan document is incomplete if it does not contain detailed plan for implementation of the program and project that the plan contain. It thereby means that planning for implementation should be built in the plant document. Planning for implementation make it possible to critically analyze the activity of a given education program and to develop an implementation schedule which can be used for monitoring the progress of implementation. There are certain steps that are necessary in planning for implementation of educational program or the projects. These are the listing of the activities that make up the program, thinking through each of these activities, establishing interrelationship between these activities, establishing a network, setting activity duration, determining material, equipment and human resource need, etc. फिर negotiation, appraisal and the approval. The plan developed or drafted plan till they are discussed and finally approved by the approving authorities. Since resources are to be allocated for implementation of plan, the negotiation process is very important. Many proposals in the plan may require financial allocation from higher authorities. Hence, the plan may become final only when they are discussed and finally approved by the authorities by approving budget and allocating fund as per the requirement. Negotiation is a process by which one can bargain for some more resources. If the proposal made in the plan document are justified and the planning team is able to convince the authorities, it is very likely that they may get more resources. However, if the plan proposal are weak and unconvincing, the chances are that they may get less amount of resources. The soundness of the proposal which constitute a plan is an important consideration influencing the amount of resource allocated. This is all about the methods and the techniques you have used for the planning of education planning. Hope you understand the topic, and if you have any query, please mention in the comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you. This session is powered by digital version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women University Jaipur. Thank you very much.